Maybe some of you already know that Tatsuki Fujimoto, who is Chainsaw Man's writer and manga artist, is a huge movie fan, and the opening of the anime couldn't make it more evident. So let's talk about all the movie references in Chainsaw Man's opening, plus some others that aren't necessarily movie related. 1. The first image we see is Denji pulling his cord in front of this illustration of Alicino trying to catch Ciampolo, who's trying to escape in the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. Some manga readers may have disagreed at first, thinking it was actually an illustration of a fallen angel that appears some chapters ahead in the manga. But once you compare them, you can clearly see they're different. We also see this reference to Dante's work in episode 2 after Makima introduces Aki to Denji. 2. After that, the opening makes a reference to another opening scene. Yep, we have Power, Denji, Aki, and Makima walking in their suits, which references the walking scene in the opening titles of Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino. 3. Then, Chainsaw Man gives us a reference to a chainsaw-related slasher movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Tobe Hopper in 1974. We see a younger Denji hugging Pochita in the middle of a graveyard, with the same camera angle that we see these corpses arranged as bizarre sculptures right when the movie begins. Even the colors in each shot are similar. 4. Right after the Chainsaw Massacre reference, we have Captain Kishibe pointing with a gun. And in case you haven't noticed, this is referencing Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction's wallet scene. 5. And now comes the first Japanese movie reference in the list. This is a crystal clear reference to Sadako vs. Kayako by Koji Shiraishi, but instead of Sadako and Kayako, we have Denji and Katana Man running toward each other while Akane slips away. 6. Then we see Galgali taking off his shoe just like Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. Galgali's mask even imitates Anton's poker face perfectly. 7. After that, we see Aki and Denji in this car shot like DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, yes, this is the last Tarantino reference, but it is not the last one that involves Brad Pitt as one of the main characters. Do you know which one's the other one? 8. After Tarantino's Spam, we get the reference to the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, a perfect relation of dumb behavior trying to save the world. They appropriate this scene so well that they even add a graphic of the Tomato Devil from the first episode to the wall instead of another map. 9. Then comes another Japanese reference, this time to the movie Don't Look Up by Hideo Nakata. You can see the scared woman in the front is replaced by Denji, and the one behind him is now Power. Unfortunately, not many people catch this one right away, since it's not as popular as the previous movies. But if you want to watch a 90s Japanese horror film about scary things happening in the shooting of a film, well, you just found a new movie to put on your watch list. 10. The 10th reference we get is one from Jacob's Ladder by Adrian Lin, and what a better way to replace Gabe in this shot than with the Angel Devil, knowing how this scene represents passing to the afterlife. 11. And now comes this iconic scene with Keanu Reeves and Rachel Weisz from the supernatural movie Constantine by Francis Lawrence in 2005. So instead of Constantine, we have Aki, and Himeno takes the place of Angela. 12. Okay, so about the movie theater shot, I found some theories that differ from one another. But I think the 3 most popular are, first, that it refers to all the movie theater scenes Fujimoto almost always adds to his work since Fire Punch, since he started publishing in 2016. The second one is that it refers to certain someones having a movie theater date in the cinema later in the manga. And finally, I've seen some people say that it actually is a reference to Messiah of Evil from 1973, so you have options to choose from in this one. Personally, I think the real one is the first one. It sounds just right to keep the pattern and use it to show your characters' personalities, but it could be anything. It could also be a reference of you watching this video right now, loving it, and then subscribing to Mini Katana for more content like this. 13. Next, we have a reference from The Big Lebowski, in which we see Denji cleaning his bowling ball while Kai throws his, and Makima and Power are watching him. What makes this reference quite obvious is the very recognizable way Denji cleans his bowling ball, just like the Jesus does in the movie. 14. It's said that this shot right here with Power leaning towards her name is a reference to Thor: Love and Thunder, mostly because of the lightning on each side of her, the overall style of the letters, and the fact that Fujimoto is a huge fan of Waititi, the director of that film. 15. I really wanted this to be a reference for the Never-Ending Story movie from 1984, but I looked around for a shot similar to this one in the movie, and I didn't find any. Do you think this could be a reference for something else? 16. Well, this one is not precisely a movie reference, but it's all over the place, so I had to add it. I'm talking about when Makima gives Denji a snail to eat, but this is a quite particular snail. You see, this snail has been attacked by a parasite called Lucicloridium paradoxum, and I don't know the science behind it, but it basically mind controls the snail and turns it into its devoted slave. And after learning that, everything in this shot made more sense. 17. And that's not the only detail referring to manipulation, paralysis, and control in general in this part. We have 2 more animals and a plant. I even read there's a fungus and other living things somewhere here, like an entire habitat of manipulation. First, the Venus flytrap, which, as far as I understand, exudes a sweet-like smell to attract their next meal. Next is the jewel wasp that Denji has in his head while Makima is feeding him the snail. This wasp uses cockroaches as the hosts for its babies. It's said that this one right here is a yellow meadow ant that feeds from honeydew made by aphids they breed in their own nest, and sometimes just eats them right away. There are even more nature references here, but I don't want to get nerdier in this one, and I think you already got the point. 18. And after Denji lets the letters CSM stamped as holes in various walls, comes the moment in which Denji resembles Eva 1 coming out from Leliel in Evangelion. I saw a lot of people arguing that this was actually a Naruto reference, but probably the Naruto scene is also a reference to Evangelion. So let's talk about it in the comments. 19. And now, the second reference that involves Brad Pitt. Chainsaw Man references Fight Club with this giant golden ball that Power hits with her blood mallet. And as Power would have expected, the ball in both cases comes to bring some destruction to the city. And in case you didn't notice before, Aki's ball in the bowling shot is golden and appears again in this section of the opening as an overlay on Denji's face. Well, he looks like he just saw Makima's boobs. 20. The opening also makes a reference to Fujimoto himself with this shot of Power walking away from an explosion with her careless attitude. It perfectly resembles the explosion panel from Goodbye Eddie. So we can tell Fujimoto has a thing for explosions and movie theater scenes for his stories. 21. Lastly, I've seen many opinions and theories about what this last shot refers to, or if it even is a reference at all. Well, let me tell you that it is. This is a reference to the music video of Soda, We're Alive by Morning Musume. At first, one would wonder how and why in the world this can be a reference to a music video from an idol group in 2002. But what definitely convinced me about it was learning that the chorus of Kickback, Chainsaw Man's opening song, comes from it. Nonetheless, I also saw many other people say it's from Mickey Mouse Clubhouse's Hot Dog Dance, and I will die on that hill, no matter the cost. Which reference surprised you the most? What other references did you notice? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. That was it for today. Thank you for watching.